Hello, students. I am Professor Cyrus Satsas, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to use Twitter to consume information because it can be an incredibly valuable resource, tool, and platform for that. And also introduce you to a really user-friendly blogging platform called Medium. So why don't I share my screen and go to my web browser. Today I'm going to be sharing a Firefox browser in case you ever wonder why I use Firefox instead of Google Chrome. It's because I, to a large extent, respect my privacy. Firefox is an open source platform where you literally know what's going on behind the scenes with your information, with your usage, whereas Google Chrome is owned by Google. And everything you do on that browser is traced, and there's very little privacy. With that said, let's talk about using Twitter to consume information. If you're watching this, chances are you're one of my students in one of my classes, and I've assigned you to make a list. So if you go in this left-hand column and click on lists, that is the first step to making one. The beauty of creating a list is that it is basically a separate news feed from your main news feed. So you can create a whole other feed that doesn't interfere with what you normally love to consume on a regular basis. And to make a new list, you just literally hover your mouse over this little icon right here that looks like a piece of paper with a plus sign on it. And if you hover your mouse over it, it just say new list. And when you press that, you're going to name your list. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're probably one of my students, and I'm giving you an assignment where you have to give a class name, followed by a dash and the number. So let's say the class you're referring to in this case is Journalism 61. So I'm going to name this JOUR-61. No need for a description. This is for me. I'm not going to make it private just because there's no need for that. And especially if you're one of my students taking this and doing this for an assignment, I want to be able to see your work. So I'm going to name it as such. And again, if you're watching this for an assignment, make sure you follow instructions carefully. And now it's time to add members to my list. And so the first two news accounts I always recommend for individuals who are looking for objective news content, unfiltered, neutral, balanced news content is the Associated Press. And you could follow their account just by typing Associated Press, and make sure you follow the account that says @AP. You can also follow @Associated Press, but I believe that account is more geared toward their style book. So @AP, I'm going to press add, and now they're added to my list. And the other account, which is also a wire service, is Reuters. And the reason why wire services are considered to be the most trustworthy sources of information is because they lack any form of agenda from potential advertisers or other business interests, because their entire business model is based on other news organizations subscribing to them. The Associated Press in recent years was generating revenue upward of $1 billion from global subscriptions based off other news agencies using their content as their own. And similar business model for Reuters. So they have no conflicts, no interference from any business interests who might want to sway the content or set forth an agenda. And from there, it depends on the types of accounts that you want to list. Now, for me, to create a list that is diverse and that has a wide range of topics to cover, to me, that's the ideal way to make a great news list. And if you're following this assignment, I've probably given you a lot of different types, like an international news source, for example. BBC might be a great one. We'll put that right there, BBC News. Let's add them. What about for like if I want to follow national news? Well, the New York Times is considered to be the bastion of journalistic integrity. So we'll add them. And then for local, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. So one source here could be, for example, the San Francisco Chronicle. And let's put them in there as the source of local Bay Area news. And now I'm starting to populate my account with diverse news sources. I always make sure that every account has a blue check mark next to it, just so because that way I know that that is the actual source of the information. The blue check mark is a great way to verify your source. And let's say we want to cover a diverse list of topics. Let's say I want to get a radio station. Well, NPR to me is a fantastic one. We could put that on there as a news source. And their counterpart on TV would be a great TV news source, which is PBS. So let's add them to the list as well. If I want to follow a business account, I always say Business Insider is a fantastic news source for business information. I make sure to follow their verified account. I'm going to follow for sports, let's say like ESPN. I'll add them. They're a good source of information, even if they do have considerable issues related to journalistic integrity. A good health account could be Men's Health, for example. And if you're on the opposite side of the gender spectrum, Women's Health would be a fantastic one as well. So I'm going to add Men's Health magazine right there. For tech, Wired magazine is a fantastic source. So I'm going to add some Wired news and information to my list. For entertainment, could be anything from People magazine, could be E! News. I love Rolling Stone magazine personally. They have a rich history, especially pertaining to US culture. And I do trust them. So the Rolling Stone magazine, and not the Rolling Stones, sorry, are added to the list. And usually if you're a student of mine, I'm going to ask you to make sure you have 20 accounts on your list. What other beats are there? How about like a government account? If I want to know what's going on with our government, Politico, how about them? Politico is a great source of information for political news. If I want business news, I already did that. We did Business Insider. I think we did health. We did sports. I think we've covered a decent amount of bases. We've done entertainment. We've done radio. We've done TV. Yeah, so I think I've covered most of them. I feel like I'm forgetting one or two. Like I think life is a great topic pertaining to lifestyle, and so Life magazine in this case would be the way to go. And I think I have to actually type at life to find them. There we go. So writing Life magazine. So this is how you populate your list. And if I hit the done button, now I have my own news feed that's providing me with basically a news ticker full of valid information that I can trust, at least as much as anyone can trust any of these organizations. And now I can, anytime I want to just catch up on the news, I can just go to the new list that I just created to get a diverse source of information. And this is how you make a Twitter list, which is, again, a great way for you to basically have information right at your hand anytime you want. That's also up to the minute because news breaks faster typically on Twitter than it does anywhere else. And the blogging platform that I strongly recommend is Medium. Medium was actually founded and created by one of the 4 original founders of Twitter. So there is a synergy there between the two. I'm now going to log out of my account so that I can show you a great example of how to create a Medium account easily. All right, so this tab right next to my Twitter account is Medium. It's already created. And what I try to tell students when it comes to creating a Medium account is instead of hitting the sign in button, I'm going to hit get started. And I'm sorry. No, actually, I had the reverse. I entirely apologize. Instead of clicking on get started, I asked them to sign in, which might seem weird given if you've never been on Medium before, you won't have an account. But if you click sign in with Twitter, and then I'm going to use an entirely new Twitter account that I've never used Medium with before. And let's see how this works. I actually can't remember what the password is. Let me see if this works. So I forgot to do, so I don't think that worked. Let's try this again. And that worked. Okay, so now I'm going to hit authorize app, hit allow up here. I don't know if you'll have to do that with Google Chrome. Sorry, we didn't recognize that account. Would you like to create a new Medium account? Yes, I'm going to sign up with Twitter. And by doing so, all I have to do is press that button. And what Medium did was import my Twitter profile picture, imported my bio, so I didn't have to take all those steps to create a new Medium account. And you know what? I now have an account. And again, Medium is a fantastic blogging platform. It's incredibly user-friendly, and it's a great way to make money as well. I believe they charge $5 for a monthly subscription, and the majority of that revenue is redistributed to Medium reporters slash citizen journalists who turn on their paywall, so you can actually earn income for the stories you produce based on the amount of traffic that you bring in. And just to show you, I'm going to go to my profile page real quick. And again, notice how my exact bio that I had for my Twitter account got transferred over. The same picture got transferred over. And in my about page, if I want to update this, I can. But given that I already have this information right here, I'll leave it the way it is. And then to make a new post, if I want to start blogging, all I have to do is hit this write button right here. When I say write, I mean W-R-I-T, not R-I-G-H-T. Give myself a title. Hello, world. And I can even just write about, this is my new Medium page. And Medium, again, is super easy. With each new paragraph, you hit this plus button if you want to add multimedia elements, if you want to add social media, if you want to embed content. Social media is actually super easy because you just literally paste the link and it'll automatically embed it. To give you an example, if I click on a tweet like this one right here, and I copy this link and I paste it right here and I hit enter. The enter button is always key for Medium and most content management platforms. Notice it'll automatically embed my tweet. And if I want to publish a story, I just hit publish. And I can add tags and whatnot. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do this at the moment, but so that is how basically you can use Twitter to be a consumer of information, of valid, trustworthy information, and also how you can use the Medium blogging platform, which again are fantastic resources. And if you're a student of mine, that is how you use those two. And if you're not a student of mine, hopefully I introduced you to some new concepts for online usage and information consumption. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Later.